Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Django Unchained. And this is the seventh movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. And I think this movie is pretty good. I don't think it's one of his best. I would say it's one of his weaker ones, but I still really like this movie. And every time I watch it, I enjoy it just a little bit more. And I've tried it many times to describe what the plot of this movie is, but I'm just going to skip over that. Mainly because if you watch the movie, which I do recommend you do watch this movie, you'll understand where the story is going to go. And also, I don't think the meat, like the meat of the experience of this movie, is going to be the plot. It's going to be the characters, the dialogue, and that's about it. Basically, what you would expect from a Tarantino movie at this point. The acting in this movie overall is really good. I think the three main performances, Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz, Leonardo DiCaprio, those three carry this movie. Christoph Waltz especially, he's great in this movie. I don't have any issues with him at all. He was really great, perfect casting. And Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, those two are really good. And Kerry Washington I like. And we'll talk about Samuel L. Jackson later on. I'm going to talk about the music choices in this movie because for my review for Inglourious Basterds, I remember saying that most of the music was crap. Here, I enjoyed the music and the song choices, though there is one song choice that I didn't like, and it's when there's this specific song where all the characters are on horses, and they are all going to Candyland, and it's after Jamie Foxx pulls the guy off of his horse, and it's playing this music that's supposed to be really cool, and that was the one song in the movie that I didn't really like. Aside from that, I like the music, but so I would say that's an improvement over Inglourious Basterds. This movie is a bit more of an action movie than a lot of Tarantino movies. I wouldn't say this is an action movie. I'm just saying that compared to Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill has the most action in any Tarantino movie. This gets second place. I think that's why people really enjoy it. Because of the violence, which I do really enjoy. It's a lot of fun and it's satisfying to watch. And I love the sets of everything. Nothing feels as if it all feels really authentic. I really love the sets in this movie, and I know how they basically built that Candyland house. Well, they built it and they built it from scratch, and they had a lot of space to work with, and so that nothing in the background felt as if you saw something that was out of the movie. And what I mean by that is like a truck drove by or something, and so you would never be taken out of the movie. So I would give the movie credit for that. In terms of tone and experience, I would say this movie is more of a crowd pleaser than many of his other movies. It does feel as if he's trying to mix all of his movies into one movie, which I do like, but at the same time, I don't really see the point in doing that. There are some zooms that are I remember from Kill Bill. I'm not sure if they were in any of his other movies, or maybe they were just more noticeable in this movie. Whenever Leonardo DiCaprio's character, he's just sitting down and he turns around, or whenever he turns around twice in this movie from what I remember, and then the camera quickly zooms in onto his face. I think that was supposed to be as a joke, but the way it was used in Kill Bill, I think it worked much better because of what it was trying to imitate. Since I'm getting into my negatives, I do feel as if this movie is a little bit too long, just by 15 minutes. And the reason, not because most of the movie is slow, it's because, without spoiling anything, it does feel as if this movie had two third acts. I can't say why, because that would spoil the movie, but it does feel that way to me. And I'm going to talk about the villains of the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson. In terms of villains for Tarantino movies, I would say that's like his weak point. I love the heroes in this movie, and the heroes in all of his movies actually are really likable to me. As far as his antagonists in his movies, they're kind of hit or miss. And this one is kind of a miss, unfortunately. Like, I didn't feel scared by watching these characters or tense, really. Not because their performances were necessarily bad. It's just, I don't know, they just didn't connect to me. And I have to bring up Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of people really love him. Okay. Whenever it's a joke, it is hilarious. I love his jokes in this movie. I think he's really funny. But as far as a villain that's supposed to be intimidating, he doesn't work for me. I was never intimidated by him. This isn't really a criticism, but I'm just going to mention this. Unlike Inglourious Bastards, where it had like moments that I really enjoyed and moments that I really didn't enjoy, this movie, the first act, like before Leonardo DiCaprio comes in, before that, the movie is great because it really has what I really love in it, like taking Django and turning him into a bounty hunter and like really perfecting that role. And that's what I love the most about the movie. But after that, the rest of the movie is just good. It's no longer a great movie, it's a good movie. And that's because the most interesting part of the movie for me, or at least for our main character Django, it's kind of missing in those other two acts. Act 2 and Act 3 are not as engaging for me, unfortunately. But those are all my negatives. It might seem like I had more criticisms towards this movie than positives, but in reality, there's a lot to love about this movie. Like, the dialogue is great, and it's really fun. Like, that first act is awesome. I loved it so much. And even in Act 2 and 3, it's still fun and entertaining, and for the most part, it's not boring. It's only kind of dull and overstaying its welcome a little bit because it's a bit too long. Before that, I was perfectly fine with the pacing the runtime. Like, it never felt slow for me. It didn't feel as if anything was dragging on for too long. If you haven't seen Django Unchained, go check it out. And if you're a fan of Tarantino, check it out. I think this is one that you will thoroughly enjoy. Despite it being long, I still enjoy it. And I'm going to give Django Unchained a 7 out of 10. It's just right below an 8. And if we're talking like my personal enjoyment of the movie, it would for sure be an 8. But if I'm going to say like things that, like objectively speaking, like if we take that element, if we take that my personal enjoyment, but also sprinkle in everything else about the movie, of what works and what doesn't work, then it's a 7 for me. So those are my thoughts on Django Unchained. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Django Unchained down below. And my social media links will be in the description down below, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up. And that is going to be for a movie that I haven't seen in a very long time. And that is The Bourne Identity. So that's going to be fun. And also, as a little thing that I wanted to show you, a little blast from the past, the HD DVD. Does anyone remember these? I do. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.